been a long 3 weeks. I mean, if that's even how long it's been since I've last uploaded from recording this, and that's not even the editing time that I'm gonna have to put in. Pulling up my notes, give me a second, please. These last couple weeks have been insane. Between World War III and the Epstein files, like finally we're getting an arrest related to the Epstein files. It seems like every country has taken some kind of action against the Epstein files, unless you're American. If you're American, you can completely fucking forget about that. Why is it so hard for Americans to just be? You know? I don't know. That's not what we're here to discuss, though. I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the key points of the Epstein files. I am absolutely not going to cover all of them. That would be impossible, really. If you have any points of anything that's coming up, and I know that 3 interviews with the 13-year-old that were taken out of the original files have just been released by the DOJ. I have not read them. I'm sure they're really fucking exposing. I'm sure that they don't completely exonerate me, you know? But instead, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about a couple of the big ones, right? We're going to talk about the Department of Justice. We're going to talk about Trump. We're going to talk about people in the files. We're going to talk about Epstein and Pizzagate. We're going to talk about the victims' journals, because there are a couple of journals and they're bad. And I feel like if you don't talk about those, and I've seen people talk about them, but if you don't keep pushing it, you forget that there are actual victims, right? It's easy to think that, you know, it was just a couple of people involved. It's not. It's global. There are world leaders. There are tycoons. There are CEOs. There are billionaires. There are generals and military power that are in these files, that are complicit in these actions. And if we ever stop, even for a second, even because of like World War III, then they win. They get their way because they want to overload us. They want to overload our systems. I mean, this has been said before. I forget who said it, but they said that this is Trump's strategy. He's trying to overload the masses with activity so that way you're too tired, too distracted, too defeated to talk about the files. So keep talking about the files and talk about everything else that's going on in the world. Talk about Sudan, talk about Iran, talk about Lebanon, talk about Israel, talk about the president. Talk about it all. So let's go ahead and get into the files, right? So first of all, the DOJ released these guys, right? They released 1,300 files, right? And they were like, that's all that there is. But it wasn't. We found that out. It turns out that there were a million more. And then after that million more, there were 3.5 million more. All right, 3.5 million, that's a lot off from the 1,300. And then there's levels of denial too. I don't know if you guys remember that, but the levels of denial were like, there's nothing in the files, don't know why anyone wants to see them. Then finally they were released, 1,300, there was a lot missing, you know? So they released a million more, and Trump's name was in there a little bit. And then they released 3.5 million more. And then they kept trying to gaslight you. They kept trying to gaslight you into thinking that you were crazy, but we know that you're not. And in these files, the DOJ didn't redact names. I mean, they did. They redacted the names of co-conspirators. They didn't redact the names of victims, you know? Why would they do that? Now, we know who, I think 6 out of 10 of the co-conspirators that were listed by the FBI, we know 6 of them, right? I don't remember all the names. I'll go ahead and put an infographic up right here of the names that we do know for sure. And it's been said before, if we released the files, the world would crumble, the government would crumble, the system would crumble, and good, let it crumble. We'll start again. You just won't be a part of it. The billionaire, elite pedophiles won't be a part of it. And I'm fine with that. I mean, shit, technically, public execution has never been outlawed. Do you know that? Do you know that public hangings have never really been outlawed? It's just kind of like not seen as the thing to do anymore. The last public hanging we had, the public lynching actually, was in the 60s. We're not too far off. Let's bring it back. Let's just bring it back for the right demographic. That's all I'm saying. You almost got me. You're gonna get me in a fucking trouble. Pam Bondi actively fighting investigations and not speaking with victims. There was a picture out there of Pam Bondi, because she had a binder when she went to go talk with the Supreme Court, I believe it was, and she had a big binder, and it was a burn book. It was a book of insults and little gotchas, and there's a picture where the victims of Epstein and Trump's victims and the victims of these billionaires. They're standing behind her, and she has a big old shit-eating grin. It's disgusting. It's so bad. Is this, I feel like that light's not bright enough. Give me 1 second, please. Oh, wow, that's so much. It's a little better. I don't want to say so much better, but it's a little better. Even Kash Patel, I mean, we all know that fucking goober using taxpayer dime to fly around the jet and slowing down FBI activity. Like, that's slowing people down from investigating, from investigating mass shootings. Kash Patel even said under oath that there was no evidence of people being trafficked. We know that's fake. We know that's false. We have, look, I'll go ahead and get into the pure mass of these files in a little bit, but we know just from the pure mass of these files, that's not true. We've noticed at the beginning, right? We're not stupid, but we know that it's not true. They're just trying to fucking keep what little power they have in a little bubble that they have. Because if their cult members realize what's going on, they really have no one else to be on their side. Another thing, we keep saying young women. Not even we, people keep saying young women. It's kids. It's kids. Right, like I depending on your age, you probably look at a 17-year-old and you're like, that's a kid. An 18-year-old, that's a kid. These are kids and little kids, children and babies in these files, and they want you to ignore it. That's insane to me. It's testimonies from kids 13 to 17, allegations from ages 10 to 26, and evidence to suggest that even 1-day-olds were victims. They weren't alive, not even a day old. They weren't alive for a day before we don't know what happened to them. That's sick, dude. Let's go ahead and talk about the Orange Man. Let's go ahead and talk about Trump. He's in the files a lot. Like, he's like the main character of the file. Him and everyone that he's associated with really are in the files. There's Trump, Eric Trump, Trump Jr., Ivanka Trump, Epstein's lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, who is also Trump's former legal advisor. There are also now deleted files with Trump all over it, which is insane because it's not like these files weren't already downloaded to everyone's phone. And I'm not going to read you every single one, because if I did, we'd be sitting here for another 30 fucking minutes, and I don't know if you want to hear my voice for that long. Blank reported an identified female friend who was forced to perform sex on Trump. Trump, approximately 35 years ago in New Jersey, the friend told Alexis that she was approximately 13 to 14 years old when this occurred, and the friend allegedly bit Trump while performing oral sex. The friend was allegedly hit in the face after she laughed about biting President Trump. The friend said she was also abused by Epstein. And this is the 13-year-old's interview that was redacted. The FBI made 3 interviews with her. They were redacted. This is legit. That's real. Now, I could put a lot of these on here, just like all around. And I will. I'm going to leave them on screen for a couple seconds so that way you could read all of them. But the big one that I really want you guys to see is this one. Donald Trump, the president, had parties at Mar-a-Lago called Calendar Girls. Jeffrey Epstein would bring children and Trump would auction them off. He measured the children's blank and blank by entering a finger and rated the children on tightness. The guests were elder men and included Elon Musk, Don Jr., Trump, Ivanka Trump, and Eric Trump were there. Attorney Alan Dershowitz was also there with attorney Bob Shapiro. We were taken in rooms, forced to give oral sex to Donald J. Trump, forced to allow them to penetrate us. I was 13 years old. Donald J. Trump raped me. Ghislaine Maxwell was also present. EFTA 0166063. That's the file number. In the files, some names that should not have been redacted are redacted. Like Alex is a name it could be a victim, but also it could be Alex Acosta, who is Trump's former labor secretary. He's in charge of the first Epstein trial. So, yeah. And if you're wondering what happened in the first Epstein trial, he was only given 13 months in prison, and he was put on work release. So he was able to leave in and out for work. He was also given immunity on further prosecutions. So Elon was too annoying for the island. He tried to be like, hey, when are we going to our island? When are we going to go to our island? Oh, actually, never mind. I don't want to go. Oh, but wait, I do. It's just the wrong time. Never mind, my schedule cleared up. And then Epstein was like, hey, get rid of this fucking guy. He told his assistant, hey, get rid of this fucking loser. So not even the pedophiles want Elon. Keep in mind, Elon has like 20 fucking kids. So that's sad. In the files, the FBI says that Trump was compromised by Israel and Trump was puppeted by Kushner. This refers to Jared Kushner. In fact, in 2009, he was married to Ivanka Trump. He also then served as Director of the Office of America Innovation. That's a fucking made-up title. That's so fake. I don't know whether it is actually fake, but that's such a fake fucking title. He claims to be an American businessman. His father was convicted of 18 charges of illegal campaign contributions, tax evasion, and witness tampering. His dad was pardoned though, don't worry, he's free. Charles Kushner is free. Charlie Kushner is free. But also, look at this picture. Look at this picture of Kushner. He's a fucking villain. Like, if you need any more evidence that he's pulling this shit behind the scenes, look at him. Look at this fucking cartoon character. This Pixar villain. They should have got this guy to be the villains of the Incredibles movie. Incredibles Part 2 would have been a better movie. Not saying it was a bad movie. I actually quite liked it, but I don't think it was a good movie. That's neither here nor there. I need a fucking smoke. This shit pisses me off. It pisses me off. And people can't see it. People can't see that they're being fucking manipulated by a big orange Cheeto who cheated in the election, by the way. That's known. Did you know Trump cheated the election? Yeah, that's right. Elon brought a bunch of preloaded voting machines in, and he put them down, and he put them down, and people know. He got a slap on the wrist. His little PAC company, America PAC. If anybody is endorsed by IPAC, America PAC, any PAC, Caterpillar, doesn't matter. They can't be trusted because their best interests don't lie with yours. Kill them. Don't quote that. That's gonna get me in trouble. That's gonna get me in a lot of trouble. This is one of the big ones. The people in the files. This is arguably just as important, if not more foundationally important, because the top can't exist without the bottom. So when we talk about people in the files, these are guys that exist to support what's happening up top, right? Bill Gates, he visited the J-Boy in his island. He asked if he could get meds for his wife because he caught an STD from a Russian hooker. Billy Gates, what the fuck, dog? J.E., the big old J-Boy, the Jeff man, even broke up with Bill Gates for ruining his pristine reputation. Like, I don't know what the fuck was up with his eyes, but he was like,
I'm writing my assistant's writing my letter. My assistant's writing my letter for you. You've insulted my good reputation.
That's what Jeffrey Epstein sounds like. That's what he actually sounds like.
You're insulting my good reputation.
Fucking asshole. Former Prince Andrew was also caught. This is one of those things that I was talking about earlier. Are we the only country not prosecuting? We've prosecuted one person who's alive. We have one person in custody who's alive related to these charges, and it's not even her. Look at this face. If you believe that's her, I have a bridge for you to jump off of, or something, however that saying goes. Now, I'm going to read you a book. It's not sold in America, right? You can only buy it if you live in certain areas of the country. And even if you can, it's really expensive. But it's about Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's, I think, grandfather, who worked for Mossad, died of strange and unusual circumstances. Now, in this book, he goes by the name Ludwig Hoch. The book's description is, this is an amazing story about an Austrian Jew who ran from the Nazis, leading espionage rings, maps, and more. The book describes in detail the spy network and elusive figure who headed it, Richard Kauder. Nazi intelligence chief Kauder's suspicions retained his services despite Hitler's explicit orders to the contrary. After the war, the British believed that he had been exploited unknowingly, the victim of his own greed for material gain, and the Americans were convinced he was a Soviet spy. The Russians denied all knowledge of him, and the state of Israel and its citizens are more indebted to the man than they can imagine. All traces of Crowder have been lost after the war. Now I'm going to go ahead and read you some of these quotes here, right? Some of the excerpts from the book itself. At one stage, Hitler discovers that Max is a Jew and demands that he be gotten rid of immediately. The Abwehr hides Crowder and continues to activate him in despite of explicit instructions that they received from the Führer. When Adolf dismantles the Abwehr and transfers the responsibility of intelligence to Himmler, the SD, the Nazi Party of Intelligence, continues to operate and defend Kauder's ring from the Gestapo. He sets up and operates 2 spy networks for the Max network, which brings everyday information on what is going on deep in the bowels of the Soviet Union. The Moritz network brings information on the British from the Middle East. Together with a friend, Ludwig Hock, better known as Robert Maxwell, they managed the secret contacts between Haganah and the Czech Communists and the Czech Communist Party, which led the Czech army to a deal that saved the state of Israel. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about, and the reason why I say it's the last thing, is because I genuinely believe that when terrible things happen, you need to open your eyes. I believe that when terrible things happen, you need to watch and remember and remind yourself of these terrible things so that way no one forgets. But I'll be fucked if this does not put nasty little feelings under my skin. There are multiple journals from multiple victims. We also see books like this in a girl's room, like almost like a locker room. It's a log almost. It's like a middle schooler's daily agenda book. And I mean, as you read, she logs a lot of her feelings and a lot of her interactions amongst Epstein, at least in the beginning, what it seems. This is not the first time we see journals like this that would have been in this format. And alongside with that, Epstein was also really obsessed with some kind of master race. Which, yeah, I mean, it's insane the fact that he's talking about master race, because he's stupid. He's actually dumb. Everything he does is stupid. Everything he does is stupid. But he's actually stupid. Like, he's not smart. I mean, a separate victim also logs their days with schools canceled, Jewish holiday, the name with hearts, job interviews, Jeffries comes back, blank tells blank, she's worried about me. This is 2 days before Christmas, which really puts into perspective that these are just girls. They're human. It gives you a look into their life, and it's disgusting. I mean, she gets a job, blank sleeps over and got her flowers. She goes to work. I don't know, it's disgusting. It makes me sad, it makes me sick. And it's not, like I said, it's not the only journal. It's not the only journal either. I mean, a victim in the files, she has a journal, and she has to write in code, right? And in the files, she says that she's an incubator for Epstein, who used a doctor from Israel to have all her babies disappeared from her. This is the same journal where she documents her 3rd birth of Jeffrey Epstein's baby. She also recounts how she had a beautiful baby girl before Mr. M took her baby. She didn't want to give her baby up. She says, "Those terrible girls are waiting. I am dead inside. I have no meaning. I don't want to be here." This is a 16-year-old writing in a diary, and she writes like when she's pregnant the first time. When she writes, she's so young that she doesn't understand what contractions are. Do you get that? Like, the journal she's writing in has a birthday card. There's a paper clipping about Prince Charles. Charles, 32, courts his teen wife. Next to it, it's written in code. I guess it's a royal thing. Andrew is like his brother in that way. Redacted. Should not brag. That was yucky. Above that is a quote. What a very jolly and amusing and attractive 16-year-old. Great fun and bouncy. That's fucking disgusting. Pictures of a New York stamp and a ballerina and a Harvard sweater decorated at the top of the page. She then talks about how she's happy her parents picked her up because for a Rockefeller that plane was scary. On another page is a redacted sonogram saying, quote, I heard her heartbeat, even when she put her hands over my ears. There's more because she says she hates New York. She makes name of Joe Gibbs, a former football coach, and Dan Schneider, famous creep. She says that she met a Mr. Roberts and his British wife Jill from Clearwater, and I've not been able to find out who the fuck those are. Here's another thing. Why take the baby? They're gonna traffic it, they're gonna do whatever with it. Maybe they're gonna harvest organs, maybe they're gonna traffic, maybe. But I also want to point out that Epstein says that human babies taste like cream cheese. We have 3.5 million files. They kept 3.5 million files from us, and now we know that there's not 14 terabytes. There's not 100 terabytes. 500 terabytes are being kept from us. And he says that babies taste like cream cheese. There's a way, it's a delicacy out there somewhere where you feed a baby goat its mother's milk, let it sit there for a bit, then you take it, you kill it, and you let the milk curl in the baby's stomach. You cut the goat open, and then you get this like almost like cream cheese. They let that little girl breastfeed her baby before taking it. Could be a coincidence. Doesn't feel like one though. I mean, I'm going to keep looking into it. I'm going to keep learning, but like today, it's just like going over everything all at once is a lot for me. Right, so I'm just going to go ahead and spitfire some of these at you. Epstein admits to working for the Rockefellers. Right, he represents the Rockefellers. Susan Hamblin, a financial advisor who sent an email giving permission to kill someone because they lied saying she was with Olga. I don't know who Olga is. They're like some sort of masseuse because they also come up later in reference to a massage person working for Epstein's former lawyer Alan Dershowitz. So we can assume she works at least closely with them, if not for them. Susan Hamblin also sued The Sun for publishing that she threatened to kill someone if they spoke up. And she's also considered not an associate, even though Epstein said that it was an associate, not a co-conspirator, even though we could read right here she's clearly a co-conspirator. She's written off as a long-term confidant. What the fuck? Susan Hamblin, you got her name, you know what to do. Oh yeah, Alan Dershowitz, by the way, is a confirmed Mossad. When interviewed in Epstein's arrest, saying to Alex Acosta that Epstein was intelligence and connected to Mossad, so he had to be let go. Like I said, shit gets... I could talk... Every point can be its own video. Because the Illuminati is confirmed. We got their fucking family names in this... I don't know, man. Look, I'm just a guy. Right? I don't even know if I'm a smart guy. I don't even know if I'm a good guy. But what I can tell you is that there are evil fucking men in this world. There are evil men that want to keep you and me and every other one that has, and everybody else who has the potential to disrupt their little bubble of power. Do not let them do that. You can stop them. You know that whole only you can stop forest fires? Only you can stop pedophile elite. Now this video I know for a fact is going to get nowhere. I need to finish this funny little magic cigarette here. I really do appreciate you for watching, and please like, subscribe, share, do what you gotta do, because the algorithm is not going to push this video. It's just not. I don't I don't censor myself. I don't want to. I don't ever want to. And because I won't, the algorithm's going to push me lower and lower because it's going to detect some no words. So, thank you. The Epstein files really disturb me. The Epstein files make me really angry. The Epstein files are terrible. The Epstein files aren't cool. They're not good for you. They're not good for me. The files aren't good. The files aren't fun. Oh, I've been recording this whole time.